everyone. Principle of inheritance and variation. Let's study the topic incomplete dominance. We know about the law of dominance that is proposed by the Mendel, right? But there are exceptions of Mendel monohybrid cross. So there are two exceptions for the law of dominance, that is incomplete dominance and the codominance. So in the law of dominance, Mendel proposed that the one factor, when the organism having the two different types of the factors or alleles, for example capital T small t or capital Y small y, so one dominates over the other and one is expressed and another one is not expressed. The expressed one, that is called as the dominant, and the another one is called as the recessive. Means one dominates over the other, right? But there are some exception for this law, that is law of dominance. So what are the exception for this law? The first one is the incomplete dominance and the second one is the codominance. What is this incomplete dominance? So according to the Mendel's law of dominance, dominant character must be present in the F1 generation. But in some organism, F1 generation is different from both the parents, and both factors such as dominant and the recessive are present in the incomplete dominance, but the dominant factor are unable to express their character completely, result in different type of the generation which is different from both of the parents. So according to the law of dominance, F1 generation plants, so they are similar to either one of the parent, right? So for example, if you take the tall and dwarf, so in the F1 generation, so the plants that are similar to the tall plants. But in case of the incomplete dominance, the F1 plants, they are not similar to either any one of the parent. They are not tall, they are not dwarf, if you take this as an example. So that is the law of, so that is the incomplete dominance. Means the dominant gene, how do you define the incomplete dominance? So here the dominant gene is not able to dominate over the another gene, so as a result the intermediate type is formed, so that is called as the incomplete dominance. So where you can find this incomplete dominance as an example? So incomplete dominance first discovered by Correns in Mirabilis jalapa. So this is also called as 4 o'clock plant. And one more very important exam that is given in the NCERT, that is snapdragon plant. Okay. So consider this snapdragon plant as an example because it is given in the NCERT textbook. Let's study the incomplete dominance by using the snapdragon plant. So you know the meaning of the incomplete dominance. Incomplete dominance means the dominant gene, so that is not able to dominate over the recessive, and which produces the intermediate plant, so that is not similar to the any one of the parental generation. Okay, so that is called as the incomplete dominance. Then let's study this concept with the example. So here in this plants, Mirabilis jalapa and also in the snapdragon plants. So here three types of the plants were found, that is color based on the flower color, red, white and the pink. Okay, so three types of the flowers are found in this plant, that is red, white and the pink. When the plants with the red flowers crossed with the white flowers plant, pink flower is obtained in the F1 generation. See here, red color producing plants and white color producing plants were crossed. In the F1 generation, according to the law of dominance, either red plants or white flower producing plants should be formed, right? But here, the intermediate color, so that is pink color flowers are formed in the F1 generation. The reason of this is that the genes of the red color is incompletely dominant over the genes of the white color. So here the genes that are responsible for the red color that is not able to completely dominate over the genes of the white color. So these plants are producing the intermediate color, that is the pink color flowers, right? So here the F1 generation of the pink flower is self-pollinated. So to obtain the F2 generation, so F1 pink flowers are self-pollinated. Then the phenotypic ratio of the F2 generation is red, pink and white is 1:2:1. That is similar to the monohybrid cross. The phenotypic ratio is 1:2:1 instead of 3:1. So in case of the monohybrid cross, that is studied by the Mendel, the phenotypic ratio should be 3:1. But instead of that, the phenotypic ratio became 1:2:1. So that is in the incomplete dominance. The ratio of the phenotype and the genotype of the F2 generation in the incomplete dominance always same. So here the genotype is same, that is 1:2:1, and here genotype is 1:2:1. Genotype is same, but the phenotype was different. So in the incomplete dominance. Let's see this with the schematic representation. Okay, the schematic representation of the incomplete dominance. So here, the red color, the gene, so that is represented as capital R, capital R. The phenotype is red color flower. Should write phenotype, and white as you can take it as small r, smaller. The genotype of this plant, genotype, capital R for red, and the white, small r, smaller. So here these plants produce capital R gamete and the small r gamete. When these gametes are fused, F1 generation plants are formed, so that contain capital R and small r. According to the law of dominance, so these plants should produce the red color flower because R is the dominant gene, right? But so there is an exception because of this example. So there is an incomplete dominance was proposed. So here the plants that are producing the intermediate flowers that are producing the pink, that is because of the dominant gene that is not able to dominate over the recessive gene. So because of that, intermediate plants were formed which are not similar to the parental type. Then this F1 plants were self-pollinated. F1 plants were self-pollinated. So these are producing the capital R, small r gametes. Capital R, small r gametes. So here in the F2 generation, capital R is formed, and capital R, smaller, two plants and the smaller, smaller. So here capital R means that is producing the red flower because both are red. Capital R, small r is there means that is producing the intermediate, that is pink, and small r is there means that is white. Then what is the phenotypic ratio? Red 1, pink 2 and white 1. That is 1:2:1. But in the monohybrid cross, when you take the height of the pea plant, so the phenotypic ratio, that is 3:1. Okay, the ratio is changed. So when you see the genotypic ratio, capital R is 1. So these are 2 and small r is 1. So the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. That is similar to the monohybrid cross experiment. Okay. So this is example for the incomplete dominance. So that is the exception for the law of dominance. So this is one of the exception for the law of dominance. Thank you.